everybody, this is DearMamaSal. How are you this afternoon? Oh, you don't want that there, do you? Hang on one second. We'll make a plan. There we go. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. And hi there to Jody, to Sandy, and anybody else who's watching. If you're here for the first time, welcome. We are a group of wonderful people who get together to help you cope with love, life, and other problems. And what we'd like to do is just let you know that we do broadcast 3 times a week, and they're 3 completely different broadcasts. And we do one on Friday lunchtime, which is where we learn something. We do one on Friday evening, where we normally laugh a bit. Hi there, Jeannie. And then we do this one, the Soul Sunday one, on a Sunday afternoon. And it's to help us just regroup and just take it easy. Hi, Lily. Good to see you there. So what I want to do is just give a second here, because I realize I'm going to need 3 different devices going at the same time. Because what I want to be able to do is to just make sure that we get everything in the right order. So first of all, if any of you do have any updates that you need to give me so that I can add those into the broadcast, please let me know. For those of you who are new, we really do care about one another, and we try to make sure that everybody gets updated as often as we can in terms of what's going on and how they're coping with stuff and so forth. So if any of you've got any, this would be a really good time to let me know so that I can just add them in as I'm going along. Just bear with me a second. I'm nearly there. I hate it that I can't do this stuff beforehand, but it just is what it is. And how are you all coping on a scale of 1 to 10? How do you think you are coping at the moment? And the reason I ask that is because for some of you, being unable to get your stimulus and your strokes and everything else from other people is going to cause some more stress than for others. I was going to say that, you know, those of us who are either, like myself, retired, or those of us on disability, we're probably going to find this a little bit easier than others. Right. So your hair looks gorgeous. Thank you. I had a quick snip. How many of you are learning how to cut your own hair? I just needed to get rid of a bit. There was a bit too much there. Thank you. All right, Jody's saying she and Lionel are hovering between a 5 and a 6, and you will remember that they've had a death in the family. So they really are doing very well at a 5 or 6. Isabel's saying about a 7.5 or 8. At night, less. Yes, and that's why we're recommending to everybody, if you really are struggling at night, put on the playlist, the Soul Sunday playlist, because you'll find that hopefully that my voice will help you sleep. All right. All right, so Jeannie's saying, we're retired, anxious to go to the grocery store. Are you not ordering yours online, Jeannie? That would be what I must admit, that I'm finding it more and more difficult to order online. But what I have been able to do is to order 2 weeks ahead. And so I'm sort of ordering my groceries 2 weeks ahead all the time. So the other thing is, I don't know if they've got it going where you live. And if they haven't, maybe you start talking to your friends about it and see. There are an awful lot of people who are going to be out of work that probably be delighted to go shopping for you for a couple of bucks, and think about that. So feel free to participate if you're new. Just know that I'm probably going to check in with you if I can repeat what you have to say. The regulars here know if you put it up, I'm going to talk about it. Unless you tell me don't talk about it. Just be aware, though, that it goes on the replay afterwards. So it's, the words won't be there, but what I have to say will be there. So helping you cope with love life and other problems, I guess at the moment is more important than it's ever been. And so if there are any subjects you particularly like me to cover, please make sure you write to me at dearmamasal@gmail.com, and we'll add whatever it is, the topic that you have, to the list if we haven't already done it. I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about being calm today. Calm. Just take a breath and be calm. It's amazing, isn't it? And you know, sometimes we just don't even realize what being calm is. Being calm is not showing or feeling nervousness, anger, or any other emotions. It's not that we don't have those emotions, it's just that we are in control of them so that we don't show them. So be calm. For those of you who are new, by the way, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that little bell thing, because that'll let you know when we're going to do another broadcast. And if you haven't followed us on Facebook and Twitter, it'd be a really good idea to do that. I want to give you some updates on some of the people, but let's get a couple of quotes in first, just so that you can get that feeling. Remaining calm, serene, and always in command of yourself. You will then find out how easy it is to get along. Right? Remain calm, serene, and always in command of yourself. Hi, Jonas, by the way. How many of you feel that you are getting a better grip on getting command of yourself and maybe of what goes through your mind and how long it stays there? Because this is a wonderful time to practice that skill. Sean Mendes said, there are times when I am super overwhelmed and everything feels like it's hitting me in the face all at once. But I think what's keeping me calm and who I am by staying true to myself is my whole family being so supportive and keeping me grounded. They treat me the exact same way they've treated me for years and years ago. How many of you are finding that your family and friends are really even more important than ever right now? And I know we all don't all have perfect families. I understand that. So, you know, it's just a case of be grateful for what you've got. And remember, you've just got your side of it. I did something yesterday that gave me great pleasure. You see, it's about the giving, not receiving, right? I know that my sister is busy into big jigsaw puzzles at the moment, and I spent an hour hunting down what I thought would be a perfect jigsaw puzzle for her. And I ordered it, and it has to come from overseas. So I then thought, gosh, I better warn her because otherwise she's going to get a parcel and she won't recognize it because she's going to say, I didn't order from here, and maybe turn it back again. So I wrote her a little note and said, hey, I just ordered you this jigsaw puzzle. And I showed her the picture. And I said, I'm hoping you like it, but if you don't, let me know and I will cancel the order. But I said, it was my early birthday present to you. Now, it's not going to get to her for a couple of months, but you know, it was just gave me such pleasure to get it for her. And how many of you have had pleasure in giving to other people? All right. It's not just about us, it's about them, right? Sometimes you can find peace of mind by transferring yourself to different situations. They are all just reminders to stay calm. How many of you feel more calm when you cook? Or maybe you feel more calm when you sew. I'm definitely finding that going out to my garden is very calming for me. And I'm really enjoying that. It's part of my day now. I get up and I literally go out in the garden before I even hit the shower. Why? Because I've done it the wrong way around a couple of times. Where I getting really squeaky clean, and then I go out in the garden and go, why did I bother? Some of you might relate to that. Yeah, Jody's saying, I feel more calm when I bake and cook and listen to Sal. Yeah, it depends what day that is they're doing. All right, Jeannie's saying on Facebook, I asked people what they're grateful for. And I told each how grateful I am for them. Yes, it's a very important thing to do right now. And I'm delighted to say I'm hearing from all sorts of people that I haven't heard of for quite a while. I must be on their good givers list somewhere. I'm looking at my phone because I want to just do some follow-ups for you. All right, we've heard from Jody, and that's good. For those of you who know Chloe, I believe that she did make it home. Jeannie's here, so Jeannie, last I heard from you was everything was going well, and the well's working. Everything's going well. You get that one, Jeannie. Jonas. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Jonas was saying, same here. Sometimes when I feel anxious and overwhelmed, I'll transport myself to a Sal broadcast. Yeah. Are you feeling a bit anxious and overwhelmed now, Jonas? And Jeannie's saying, baked a banana bread this morning. Isn't that wonderful? I'm actually going to be baking 3 cheese mac and cheese for Yvonne tonight. I'm going to take it to her tomorrow. Well, I'm going to have it as well. Of course. Got to do the quality control. Erin, anybody got an update on Erin? I know she was here, but I don't think I got an update. I've written to Lizzie twice because I know that she was due to have an operation, and I'm just not sure whether she's still having it or not. But if I hear from her, I will let you know. By the way, I did contact Oz, yeah, of course, and he's still in Australia. He hasn't got to the Indonesia just yet, and he's just a little fed up with all the stuff going on. Yeah, messing with his plans. Hi, Jonas. I'm sorry that you are a little bit anxious. Yeah, you keep doing that. You know something, Jonas? I make something called a stargazer. I don't think I've ever discussed this with any of you. And if I thought I could get hold of one in a hurry, I'd go and get one. Do you want to hold on a second? If you want to hold on, I'll find one for you. Maybe not. Hang on, let me try and find one. I've got a regular one and I've got a blind one. Actually, the reason this is the regular one, this is a stargazer, and I can't hold it up. And this one is a blind one because its eyes have come out in the move. But this is what I wanted to read to you all. Okay. What is a stargazer? I'm a very special. I'm a gentle reminder for you to go through life with a smile. To keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. Keep me on your desk or at home to remind you that you can and will achieve your dreams. So you see, it's just a little stargazer. I don't think I've ever discussed those because I give them to people every now and then. But, you know, it's so important for us to keep our eyes hopeful on hope and be grateful for every day that we have, especially now. But to keep our feet on the ground, and as we've been talking over the last few broadcasts, be prepared for lots of things. My ice maker. The language of excitement is at best picturesque merely. You must be calm before you can utter oracles. All right? Just be calm. Why? You deserve, how many of you think you deserved to be calm? How many of you are going, I want that? More than anything, I want to be calm. Yes, I do. I do actually, but I haven't made them for many, many years. And the reason that I'm talking about them is because I found, I bought the molds for them with me. But now I got to find a pottery where I can make them. He who is of calm and happy nature will hardly feel the pressure of age, but to him who is of an opposite disposition, youth and age are equally a burden. Right? If you are not calm, you will not enjoy your youth and you will not enjoy later in life. Nelson Mandela said, I do not deny that I planned sabotage. I did not plan it in the spirit of recklessness, nor because I have any love for violence. I planned it as a result of a calm and sober assessment of the political situation that had arisen after many years of tyranny, exploitation, and oppression of my people by the whites. That's obviously Nelson Mandela talking about South Africa. Right? And what an incredible story of our generation, and that a man could go from being imprisoned for treason to running a country in his lifetime. I think it's just an incredible journey. John Moore said, oh, the vast, calm, measureless mountain days, days in whose light everything seems equal and divine, opening 1,000 windows to show us God. I'm pretty certain that some of you have found yourself getting closer to God in these last few days. And as these isolation days continue, you may find it even more so. By the way, I did contact Kimmy, for those of you who know Kimmy and Adrian. She's telling me that both she and Adrian are doing fine. She did get her tests back and she was negative to the virus. Yeah, I think you all know that Emma is home and she's so happy to be with her son and feeling, just to be home, I'm sure for her was a major step. I haven't got an update from Paul the Brit or from Paul, Boston Paul, but as far as I know, they're fine. And the only birthday or anniversary I had was yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, the 25th was Jilly's anniversary. And as I said, I know that Lizzie was due to have a surgery at the end of the month, but I'm pretty sure that will have been cancelled. But I don't know, and I'm trying to get her to answer me, but I can't control her. Yeah, thoughts and prayers for everybody. The most intense conflicts, if overcome, leave behind a sense of security and calm that is not easily disturbed. It is just that these intense conflicts and their camouflage, no, not camouflage, and their conflagration, I can't even say that word, which are needed to produce valuable and lasting results. Conflagration, I can do this right. Jordan is saying, when I feel anxious, I try not to attempt to control or suppress it. I just try to be aware of it and understand that I am not defined by my thoughts or emotions, but my awareness of them. Way to go, Jonas. That's huge learning. When, I was on the phone today, Jonas, trying to cancel a payment I'd put through. And, I'd been on my online system and I'd taken the online check thing and tried to cancel it. And something just didn't feel right. So I decided to phone the bank to make sure that they got my instruction. And it was then, after I was on hold listening to music for a long time, it was then that the guy said to me, well, where's the check? And I said, what? And he said, where's the check? And I said, well, you can see it on my bank account. It's the only thing that's there on that day. And he said, no, that wasn't a check. And I said, what? He said, you did that on online banking. So then you know what I wanted to say. And I just went really calm and I said, oh, so I made a mistake. I wonder, is it possible for you to help me to correct that mistake and then help me do the right thing to cancel what is a automatic payment, a payment through the banking system online? But I can tell you that wasn't what I wanted to say. Do any of you relate? It was just like, why didn't you say that this does not apply to online transactions? Because it's not a check. Duh. All right, a conflagration is a large and destructive fire that threatens human life, animal life, health, and property. It may also be described as a blaze or simply a large fire. So that would be what happened in Australia, Jody. Thank you for the knowledge. We always learn something, don't we? It is said that you accept that this civilization could be abolished and life will begin again after a few thousand years because it is something that has happened in history of this planet. When you have peace in yourself and accept, then you are calm enough to do something. But if you are carried by despair, there is no hope. And whatever else you let go of, don't lose hope. All right? There have been times in my life that the only thing I had left was my hope that things would get better. Yeah. You practice mindfulness on the one hand to be calm and peaceful. On the other hand, as you practice mindfulness and live a life of peace, you inspire hope for the future of peace. Nobody can take away the anguish and pain that Jody and Lionel are going through as they go through the grieving process. I don't care how much we want to, because it's not our stuff. It is not something that we can throw money at or throw gifts at or whatever. You see, what grieving is a personal process, right? Each will do it in his or her own way. And there is no finite time to it. It will take as long as it takes. And so the main thing is that we continue to let them know that we love them dearly, and that if we could, we would take away the pain, but we can't. And that's okay. Jeannie is sharing a quote from Emily Dickinson, said, "Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul." It's beautiful. Beautiful music is the art of prophets that can calm the agitations of the soul. It is one of the most magnificent and delightful presents God has given us. And how many of you, when you listen to music, calm? I should turn that off, shouldn't I? No, I'm not going to. It's going to fill up any minute now and it'll turn itself off. So how many of you find music restful? And what sort of music? I've tested different sorts of music to see what helps me sleep better. And it's strange that I found, for some reason, piano or guitar music seemed to work the best. Jody's saying, "The DearMamaSal family has surrounded us with love, and we are humbled." There's part of me that going, really? You know, Jody, when you give out as much love as you and Lionel do, I'm surprised you get it back. But you know, how about this? Cicero said, "The pursuit, even of the best things, ought to be calm and tranquil." How many times have you heard me say, "just one step at a time"? Right? That keeps you calm. Do any of you know what TikTok is? I'm pretty certain that Jonas does and a few others probably, but it is really strange where you remember that Benji wanted to put me on YouTube. I've got a young person who's saying to me, "Sal, you need to be on TikTok. We need to hear what you have to say, but we need it in very short bits." And it was so cute. So I said, I could do that if you help me. And so what I found is that I just said to him, "But you need to know my process." And he said, "Okay." And I said, "I only do one step at a time." So what one step would you have me make? You know, and it's interesting because I'm now on step 3, I think. I'm now going to actually have a look at how to join TikTok. How about this? Night, the beloved. Night, when words fade and things come alive. When the destructive analysis of day is done, and all that is truly important becomes whole and sound again. When man reassembles his fragmented self and grows with the calm of a tree. How many of you find looking at trees very calming? I love to just watch. I've got this beautiful tree that is beginning to get leaves and bloom. It's outside my window. And I know from pictures of the house when they were trying to sell it that it is bright red. It is a red maple, I think. So I'm very, very excited to have that. And also, it will shade me to some degree from the sun and my neighbors. So how many of you love looking at trees? I think of all the trees that I've ever seen in my life. The most fascinating one to me was the African baobab tree. I don't know if any of you have seen it. Um, Let me just spell it for you. I think it's spelled. Oops. Very difficult to type at this angle. Oops. I think it's spelled that way. Anyway, it's the most amazing tree. It looks like somebody took a tree and replanted it with the roots in the air. And you know, the first time I saw it, I said, that tree is upside down. Because it really looks like, you know, that somebody took it and planted it with the roots in the air. And it's, you know, and I've always loved it ever since. It makes me smile every time I see one. And if you get a chance, you know, suss it out and have a look at what it looks like. William Godwin said, I was famous in our college for calm and impassionate discussion. For one whole summer, I rose at 5 and went to bed at midnight that I might have sufficient time for theology and metaphysics. Are any of you getting up earlier because you are self-quarantined, or are any of you sleeping longer because you are self-quarantined? And are you making full use of this magical time that you have, or are you just stressing out? That is your choice. Joyce Meyer said, getting stress out of your life takes more than a prayer alone. You must take action to make changes and stop whatever is causing you stress. You can learn to calm down in the way that you handle things. Boy, have I learned that lesson. I literally look at things today and go, what is the fastest way I can get this stress off my list? I don't want it there anymore. Okay, Nia's just trying to teach me something. Mama Sal, you can use the screen keyboard. If you're at a distance, use the cursor to click. Really? And how do I get the screen keyboard up on my screen? That's so clever. There's probably a shortcut for that. Jeannie's saying, I get up about 6:30 daily and start my day and maybe make blueberry pancakes for York and read my newspaper. That sounds really calm. Wonderful. Marie Curie, known for what? Anybody know? She said, unknown in Paris, I was lost in the great city. But the feeling of living there alone, taking care of myself without any aid, did not at all depress me. If sometimes I felt lonesome, my usual state of mind was one of calm and great moral satisfaction. You know, when you have achieved what you want to achieve in a day, you can feel calm. When you go to bed at night, do you think, I did well today? Even though I didn't finish that dreaded list, I did well today. And do you say to yourself, you know, I was balanced today. I did a bit, I ate well, I went out and got some fresh air, you know, because we still can. It's just when you go that's important. And it's like, I think when we have our life in balance, it's amazing the difference that it makes. I'm dying to hear what the shortcut is to get that screen. I'm really interested in that, Nyasha. Jody, could you make a note? Hi, Beth. Could you make a note for me to find out how to do that? I know it's possible, but I can't. I never did it. Therefore, I don't know what the shortcut is. Go to the search box. Jody, could you get a screen grab of that? I'll do it after the broadcast, Nyasha, because that requires thought. All right, so here's our question. What did Madame Curie discover? Was it penicillin? Was it something else? Yeah, Judy is saying every evening we thank God for the day and pray for all our relatives and friends and assorted others. You know, I am now in the habit of sending messages to the children every night, hoping that they've had a good day. And then when I get going in the day, I send them another message and let them know that I am awake. Nikola Tesla said, with ideas, it is like with dizzy heights you climb. At first, they cause you discomfort, and you are anxious to get down, distrustful of your own powers. But soon the remoteness of turmoil of life and the inspiring influence of the altitude calm your blood. Your steps get firm and sure, and you begin to look for even dizzier heights. Radioactivity. There you go, Jody. Well done. Yeah. I always go, it's one of those things where you're going, I know that one. It has been hard to get my head around how Justice Antonin Scalia, I'll get that name right one day, rationalizes his decisions. His body blow to the Voting Rights Act was a head scratcher, but at least he was calm when he attempted to justify his odd logic. I think that's cute. It is extraordinary to see the sea. What a spectacle. She is so unfettered that one wonders whether it is possible that she again will become calm. You know, if ever you've been, I was in a boat once that was almost in a situation like The Perfect Storm, if you ever saw that movie. And, you know, I cannot tell you what the feeling was. It was so bad that I was literally punching holes into my, I had those yellow boots, and I was punching holes into those boots to make sure that they wouldn't maintain water and drag me under if we capsized. And it was really a strange feeling when we got back into harbor and safe. It was just like, wow, I don't ever want to be at that much risk again out of choice. And it was the choice of the captain of the ship I was on, and I was the only passenger. And he was trying to impress me. I was not impressed. How about this? Panic causes tunnel vision. Calm acceptance of danger allows us to more easily access the situation. Sorry, to assess, easy for me to say. Calm acceptance of the danger allows us to more easily assess the situation and see the options. How many of you have realized that most of your life, the reason you felt panicked was because you didn't see the options? Can any of you relate to that now? We've done a lot of work on helping you see that there are options, even when you don't think there are. And I think it's really one of those things that once you realize that it just looks like it's a roadblock, and the roadblock is you haven't come up with any options yet. And I'm hoping that by being part of Dear Mama Sal, you realize you've got this incredible group of people full of very creative minds that 9 times out of 10 can help you with a few options. Which one you take is up to you, right? We can't control what you want to do with your life. That's your choice as adults. But we can help you find options if you need them. The moderation of people in prosperity is the effect of a smooth and composed temper, owing to the calm of their good fortune. How many of you are going, if I had money, I'd be calm? No, actually, yeah, Nyasha, I don't know if you can see the visual of that. I was wearing those yellow boots, like Wellington boots, whatever you call them in Trinidad and Tobago, in Tobago particularly. I don't know what you call them, but rain boots. And they're yellow when you're sailing. And I had all the gear, of course, the yellow slicker and the boots to match and everything. But it was just like I'm always been somebody who thinks a step ahead if I can. And I just went, if this boat goes over, I don't want these things filling with water and pulling me down. I'd rather they were sieves, and that the water could get out. I might be totally useless, Nyasha. It was just a survival thing on my part. That's how scared I was that we were going to go over. How many of you believe this one? Wars should be fought with words, not bombs or not weapons, and calm words. I think that wars should be fought over a chessboard and a cup of something to drink. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. Jodie's saying that, both she and York have had situations where they needed to take charge. And really, it's so important if you do take charge that you are calm. All right. Otherwise, everybody else will panic. And that's a very important thing. If you notice, for those of you who've been frequent flyers at all, if you end up being seated next to an exit, they actually come to see who you are. And they assess whether you are the right person to be sitting next to that window. And basically, what they want to know is, in an emergency situation, will you panic or will you have the ability to keep control and open that emergency exit if you need to? All right. And there have been a couple of times where you can tell that the first thing was, oh, she's got gray hair. And then they'll talk to me and then they'll laugh and they go, no, you're fine. And I'm going, I know I am, but for what? And they said, to be sitting where you're sitting. I said, I know. Drew Barrymore. And, if you ever saw E.T., how can we ever forget how cute she was in E.T. when she was, what, 5 or 6 or something? And, that scream that she did will stick in my mind forever. What a natural talent. But she was saying, as I've gotten older, I've really wanted to find more balance and calm. And how many of you feel that? That's what life is about. Can you find balance and calm? Now, it is true that those of you who have faith probably find great balance and calm when you go to church or when you watch a mass or, whatever it is that you do. But it is also, as we all know, very true that not all people who go to church are calm and balanced. That definitely would be something I would have found. And not all people who are calm and balanced are people of faith. And so it's just one way that we can do that. For those of us who do have faith, we are extremely lucky, I think, that we have that ability. And no, Niasha, that's not how the seating arrangements are made on a plane. What happens is they will allocate people to seats, all right? But once everybody's loaded on Niasha, they want to know who's sitting near the emergency exits, all right? Because they want to make sure that in an emergency, that is somebody. By the way, that what they also want to know is, does this person have the physical strength to do what is needed to open that door? I probably wouldn't be the best person anymore because I'm not as fit as I used to be. My strength may not be as good as it was. So no, they quite honestly, that's that they don't make all those decisions that way. It's sort of first come, first serve on a lot of the planes now. How about this one? Vows that were made in storms are forgotten in calm. All right. How many of you have ever said anything in anger and later regretted it so much because there's no way you could pull it back? And one of the things I have learned as I got older was do not argue. If you get into an argument and you're starting to get angry, stop. And people don't like that because they want to win. And I'll go, I just cannot do this right now. I choose not to do it right now. Well, we have to because no, we don't have to. No, we don't have to. You would like to, but we don't have to. I would like to wait 24 hours or 48 hours until, the emotion has dropped down a bit. Then I will discuss it. I'm not going to discuss it with this much emotion flowing around. I will say something I may regret, and I don't want to do that. I care about you too much to do that. People look at me and see a calm, cool guy. Excuse me. I'll try that again. People look at me and see a calm, cool guy on the sidelines, and I want them to know that is my Christian faith, and it affects my coaching and everything I do. Tony Dungy said that. To accustom the infant to get out of its own difficulties or to calm it by rocking it may be the lay of foundations of a good or bad disposition. All right. How many of you know people that, the baby's crying and they'll say, let it cry? And other people are going, no, 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 your baby's crying. Yeah, I know that. The same thing. How many of you can let a phone ring and not answer it? You see, when you can let a phone ring and not answer it, you will know that you have a different level of control. Thank you for your care, Nyasha. I'm drinking some coffee rather than some water. Never be in a hurry. Do everything quietly and in a calm spirit. Do not lose your inner peace for anything whatsoever, even if your whole world seems upset. I love that, don't you? Never be in a hurry to do everything. Never be in a hurry. Do everything quietly and in a calm spirit. Do not lose your inner peace for anything whatsoever, even if your whole world seems upset. And we've got a couple of viewers whose world is upset at the moment. Jonas is saying, I was in the library and there was a mum who kept telling her crying baby to shut up instead of just being calm. Jeannie is saying, avoid people who bait you. Do not engage with them. Yeah, I agree. And Jonas is saying, frankly, the mother was more annoying than the crying baby. We must go beyond the constant clamor of ego, beyond the tools of logic and reason, to the still calm place within us, the realm of our soul. You know, that's from Deepak Chopra. And, you know, let me read that again because that is so beautiful, right? We must go beyond the constant clamor of ego, beyond the tools of logic and reason, to the still calm place within us, the realm of the soul. I wonder if any of you relate to this one. Sometimes when you're not doing much, things get overwhelming. So I have to calm myself down and think, what would my mama want me to do? How many of you have done that, where you know you're going around, you know, in the hamster wheel, and you just go, wait, what would somebody that really cares about me want me to do now? I find it fascinating, sometimes talking to Jody, and for those of you who might be listening and don't know who Jody is, she is our admin, and I talk to her on a daily basis. And the interesting thing is that so often Jody will be having things go to her, and I've got the perfect answer to her every time. Just do what you would tell me to do. You know, because, you know, she is so caring and so kind that, you know, if anything's happening to me, she would be so forgiving and so incredibly thoughtful about everything. So I just say to her, just, you know, give yourself the same advice you'd give me, because I know it would be good advice. I've received it many times. Ellen G. White said, true love is not a strong, fiery, impetuous passion. It is, on the contrary, an element calm and deep. It looks beyond mere externals and is attracted by qualities alone. It is wise and discriminating, and its devotion is real and abiding. And some of you have found that in your life. And I am so happy for you. Right? I am so happy for you to have found that ability. You know, some of you have found the ability to sit in silence with the person you love and feel the love of silence. Now, I'm going to read you a quote, and I'd be interested to have you guess who might have said it. I am full of fears and I do my best to avoid difficulties and any kind of complications. I like everything around me to be clear as crystal and completely calm. And I can tell you, it's a very famous director of movies, horror movies, that said that. I am full of fears and I do my best to avoid difficulties and any kind of complications. And it's so funny because you would never believe that if you saw him. It was Alfred Hitchcock who said that. Yeah, Stephen King would be another one that probably would say that as well. Yeah, he's actually he I always find Stephen King a fascinating personality. I would love to. He is somebody I actually would like to sit and have dinner with because I would like to really know what goes on in a mind that can create the horrors that he does. Right? You've got to have, something wired a very different way to be able to imagine what he imagines. Lady Gaga said, meditation helps me calm down. Angelina Jolie said, I like to think that I am a calm and sweet person. I tend to be very playful at home with my children, but in life, we have to fight our battles, our work battles, our political battles, our personal battles, and we're focused. Now, this is another view from Yoko Ono, who said, I don't think you should always stay calm in a tense situation because you might not ever confront the problem. Maybe it's better to actually let yourself be tense and find a solution. I gotta turn my ice maker off. Hang on a second. What it did is it filled up and then it stopped because it was full, and then it let the ice melt, and now it was about to start up again. And I don't want that. How about this? Since the team understands that the leader is the de facto in charge, in that respect, a leader has nothing to prove. But in another respect, a leader has something to prove. Every member of the team must develop the trust and confidence that their leader will bring good judgment, remain calm, and make the right decisions when it matters most. I can remember once walking into senior management, and I had just made them an awful lot of money. Enough that they listened to me quite a bit. And I walked in there and I had seen that they were about to bring in some sort of ridiculous new policy. And I just walked in and I said, I see this new policy that you're thinking of bringing in, but I need to tell you, if you bring that in, I will be leaving by the end of the day. And they went, what? I said, that new policy is guaranteed to be very dangerous for a lot of my staff. And therefore, I cannot stay here if you bring something like that into play, because it would mean that I have not done my job to protect them from things like this. And I remember the president of the company looking at me and saying, "You work for me, not for them." And I said, the last that I heard, my title had the word manager in it, which means my job is to manage on behalf of the people in my book. Jonas is asking, what was the policy? The policy was that they were about to change the pay structure for all the salespeople. And they were not going to give them any notice. And my point was that salespeople, by virtue of what they do, are dreamers. Therefore, they will have spent next month's salary before they ever earned it. Human nature. And that was my point. If you have to bring this in, you need to give it at least 2 months leeway, 2 months lead in for it to be fair. And then, of course, the CEO, who was a totally different personality, not a sales personality, he couldn't understand that. And I said, no, you wouldn't understand that because you're not a salesperson. It's a different mentality. And I can assure you that they live in the future, therefore they've already bought, they've already bought things with next month's salary. And he said, so you're going to blackmail me? And I said, no, it's your choice. Just if you bring it in, I'll be gone. Because I cannot face them and tell them I okayed this, because I don't. Nyasha, I want to tell you, I have so many stories of standing up for what I believe and how many prices I paid for it. I literally paid incredibly difficult price for standing up for what I believe, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I do believe that if you don't stand for something, you stand for nothing. And, to me, I believe in standing up for what I believe to be right. I may not be right, but I will stand up for what I believe is right. How about this? August is the month of high sailing hawks. The hen hawk is the most noticeable. He likes the haze and the calm of those long, warm days. He is a bird of leisure and seems to always be at ease. How beautiful and majestic are his movements. Now, is that really true that a male hawk is a hen hawk? Did anybody else react to that going, surely the hen would be the female? I'm about to learn something new. All right, so Joan Rivers said, life goes by fast. She didn't realize how right she was. Enjoy it. Calm down. It's all funny. Next, everyone gets so upset about the wrong things. Nyasha, well done. You get a bonus point. Hang on, let me go back. Jeannie's saying, oh no, first of all, Nyasha's saying, that's great of you, Sal, for standing up for what you believe in. Yes, I do that. Jeannie's saying, it's so brave to stand up alone. I too have done that. It's hard to do, but then you respect yourself. Yes, I do. Jody is saying, anyone that was lucky enough to have had Sal as a manager, how blessed to have had that level of protection at your job. Not just at your job, Jody. I sat on a lot of boards of organizations, and I was amazed. One of my great memories was sitting on a board for the mental health people. And it was really weird because I heard that the executive director wanted a massive salary increase. And I, being who I am, I started to do some research on stuff. And I actually went to go and see, what the participants of the program, how they were living when they came to the program. And they, to my horror, were sitting on chairs and tables on cement floors, no carpet, and all sorts of things. So the next board meeting I went to, and I was very new to the board. And when this topic came up for discussion, I said, I'd like to have some input on this. I'd like to know, on what are we basing the need for this man to earn so much more? Has he done something spectacular for his people? Has he done something spectacular that I know not of? And they were looking at me going, what? And I said, well, that's a big jump. Are we bringing him up to what is the industry level? There's got to be a reason why it's this amount of money. And I looked around the boardroom and I said, could somebody help me here? Because I'm new and I don't know. And you have no idea how many sheepish looks there were around the table. And then when I realized that nobody had a good reason, I said, perhaps we should take this money and put some carpet on the cement floor so that our participants don't have to sit on cement, in the winter, in a garage, basically. Maybe we should spend that money in being kind and giving people what I consider to be basic needs. What do you think? I wasn't very popular. And by the way, I did try to leave that board twice because I was so unpopular. And it just wasn't giving me pleasure to be that unpopular. But I do stand up for what I believe. Yeah, Jody is saying a male hawk is called a tercel. Yeah, so Jody, is a female hawk called a hen? I think so. That's why I had difficulty reading it, because I'm thinking, I think that's wrong. Nyasha's saying, I'm glad for the way in which you handled it. I'm going to try that next time someone tries to decide to play that card. Before Sal, I used to be a pushover when coming to things like that. Well, I think we all do that. I want to tell you, Nyasha, it's not an easy place to be. Jeannie's mentioned it as well. One of the reasons that Marnie and I have such a strong bond is something happened once where some very powerful people decided to bog all over Marnie. And I stood between them and Marnie. And I said, you want to fight this fight? Fight me. And they're going, no, my fight's not with you. It's with Marnie. I said, I was in charge of Marnie. The buck stops with me, not with her. Now fight me. And they're going, no, Sal, I don't want to fight with you. I said, I know. So back off, bozo. All right, Jody, so I was correct. You see, as I went to read it, I went, there's something wrong there. I love it when I'm right. Not very often, but I love it when I'm right. Queen Latifah said, my mom was my main influence growing up. And Priscilla Rashad reminded me that a lot of my mother, just the way that she handled certain things, she was not soft-spoken, but smooth-spoken. Just very calm, cool, collected about things. Yeah, Nyasha, not many people wanted to fight me. And I have got a wicked memory for things sometimes, when it suits me. And it is amazing where And I've always been that person. But, you know, Marnie for years later said, I cannot believe that you did that because you lost so much in doing it. You know, I lost reputation, I lost this, that, and the other, all sorts of things happened. I said, I would do it again tomorrow. I just need you to know, I would do it again tomorrow. Because if you don't stand up for what is right, then who are you? Right, Jody. I'm getting nagged here. Thank you, Jody. She's so kind. So, but can you? I don't recommend everybody doing it, right? Because the loss can be huge. But if you have that knowingness, you know, right and wrong isn't something that we necessarily get taught. There's great research to say that we know what is right and wrong when we are born. And we get manipulated into the nuances of it. And I wonder if any of you agree with it. Valentine's Day, for those that are romantic, you have 10 days and 3 weeks left to the next one. We have 270 days until Christmas. That's not very much, is it? And you have just 8 months and 6 days to get your Christmas cards in the mail. US Thanksgiving is just 8 months and 1 day away. Canadians, we've got far less time. We Canadians have only got 6 months and 16 days. The taxes in the USA, you've got 3 months and 18 days to get it done. And for Canadians, we've only got 2 months and 4 days to get it done. Easter is just 13 days away. And I know a lot of you will miss going to Easter services. And for those of you who like to keep track, my move was just 2 months and 17 days ago. And I've now owned my property for 1 month and 16 days. And how many of you know, boy, am I glad I sold when I did. I should say, let me just catch up here. All right, so Niesh is saying, my memory is exactly the same way. It does not allow me to forget things. But I am totally the opposite. No one wanted to fight you, whereas me, I'm like a target just waiting to be had. I'm not a tough or strong person. I would disagree with that, Nyasha. I really have to tell you that I disagree that you're not a tough or strong person. Because I think in your own way, you have struggled a great deal in your life and you've made it through. I think that makes you pretty tough and pretty strong. And it makes you a survivor. When the whole world was going against you, you chose to come in here and start learning. I think that makes you a pretty smart, tough person. So to me, I would like to suggest that one of the things you might want to do for the coming year is stop putting yourself down. All right? It is a difficult thing to do, quite honestly, is not to put yourself down. Now, I found that I'm playing some word game that I play, and I was just killing a bit of time, and it said that what I just did was superb, and I answered it back and said, "What did you expect?" Yeah. It's a word game. What did you expect? It's spectacular, and I said, "Uh huh." Are you surprised? And it's funny how I find myself talking these affirmations to myself as I go along. But I did really want to say this, before we close today, that how many of you who are signed on right now are actually have lost a job because of what's going on? When I say lost it, you were employed earning money and now you're not. I'm pretty sure that if you've been told you've got a 2-week wait, that means you've still got a job. But if they've said the job stops now, forever, I don't think they are allowed to do that, by the way. Right? They cannot use the pandemic as a reason to fire you. Nyasha's saying, I'm stubborn with a never give up mentality. That's what it is. But when it comes to insults, fights, and such, I'm not like you. Plus, I'm quick to say yes to just make the other person happy. That takes but you know something, Nyasha? Let me just make sure you understand something. I think that you are doing the best you can with the knowledge that you had. All right? As your knowledge grows, you will have a different protection of yourself. Jody's saying, Nyasha, you are persistent and willing to learn. I think you're strong. Yeah, I agree. Beth is saying, no fault in my state. They don't have to have a reason to fire you. Is that right? Yeah, you're in. Oh, that's also the same in Nevada, isn't it? That is difficult. You're in Kentucky. I think Nevada has a no fault thing as well. I think Angela told me that when I was there. But I believe under the current situation of a pandemic, and I could be wrong, Beth, but I thought I saw a discussion about that recently where it said under a case of a pandemic, they cannot use that reason to fire you. All right? That's what I heard. I'm certain that Jody will make a note so we can double check it, and I will. I think that's a federal thing, not a state thing. It's a federal mandate that says you cannot fire somebody under a pandemic. Now, I'd like to give some good news because it's important. Jody was telling me that she was due to go in to her doctor to get her pain medication filled. As some of you know, Jody is post-cancer and dealing with lymphedema and all sorts of things. And she has all sorts of pain issues going on for her. And she has to have, a monthly script for her pain medications. And it's so strange that she just said that she went to find out what's going to happen about her appointment. And she is now going to be able to teleport, if you like, her appointment. She can actually do it online, like on FaceTime or whatever, however they do it, to get that discussion with her doctor. And I'm hoping my doctor will do the same. All right, so Nyasha, I've read your comment and I won't read it out loud. And just, I'm sorry to hear that. All right, so Beth did the same thing. All right, video doctor. Yeah. And I want to tell you something. I do have to go to the bank tomorrow. I have to draw out money, and it's not an amount of money that I can take through an ATM. So I have to physically go to the bank to get it. And it is the first and only thing that I have sort of done like that. So I will go back into self-quarantine for another 2 weeks afterwards, even if they release the stay-at-home thing. Yeah, I think it's a federal mandate, Jody. I think I heard it, a panel discussion about it. That's what makes me think I heard it, that it was federal, not, that means everybody has to obey it, right? Jeannie is saying that her son-in-law is learning how to teleport as a mid-interpreter in Spanish. He is deemed essential right now. Yes, I can imagine. The very important job. All right, Nyasha is saying that she's got a medical condition that requires her to go to hospital, but she's obviously terrified to go to hospital because they're using it as a quarantine ward for the patients. So the thing is, you just need to stay honest with your doctor. All right. I would, quite honestly, I would say to you that you need to talk to your doctor and find out what your options are other than go to hospital. Wow. Kentucky doesn't have a stay at home yet. Wow. Isn't that amazing? But you'd still be working even if they did, hey, Beth? That's scary that you guys haven't got stay at home yet. I quite honestly, I isolated before the instruction came. I've been self quarantined for over 2 weeks now, nearly 3. Yeah. So you know something, Beth? We thank you. Um, you have no gloves or sanitizer. That's. I'm amazed that you haven't made your own, Beth. You know, with what I know of your mentality. And well, there's no way she can be safe if she doesn't have gloves and doesn't have sanitizers. And even if she had those, and I presume no masks either, Beth, right? All right, Julie's saying when going to the bank, if you use the outside, please use gloves and then. Well, yeah, I take sanitizer with me. I've got a spray sanitizer that I take with me, Jeannie. But thank you for thinking of that. She works in a dollar store type thing. Um, but Jeannie, I don't think I even will be going into the bank. I think my bank now has a system whereby you tell somebody through a window what you're there for. They do whatever is necessary, and then they tell you to go to your car, and they will come to your car to deliver what it is that you need. Does that make sense? So they're doing it all in a completely different way. I'll let you know when I've finished doing it. I'm a little bit scared. I don't mind telling you. That would be normal, right? Um, I I haven't been able to find my masks. I know I've got some with me for woodworking and things, and I haven't been able to find them. And so I'm taking a bigger risk there. Um, but I'm thinking maybe coffee filters would be better than nothing. You know, I mean, they're only 2 microns and you need point something, but I'm thinking, 2 or 3 coffee filters might work. Yeah, Beth is saying we had one case that's been to hospital so far a mile away, but they've already recovered. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. So, Jeannie, but I hear your warning, Jeannie. I will be very careful because I know that I want to be, and I know you guys want me to be. Yeah, Jody's saying that New Hampshire is under stay-at-home until at least May the 4th. Yeah, and I think I will stay as in except for this emergency that I do need to go and get money. So that to me is the only thing. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the day to do things. For example, I'm going to be cooking mac and cheese tonight for Yvonne and delivering it to her because I have done nothing. I haven't been able to do anything nice for Yvonne, in the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to be out in her area anyway. So I'm just going to cook some and I'm going to drop it. I won't go near her, but I will just leave it, outside her door so she will get it. I know she's going to be home. So, to me, it's like if I'm out, I might as well just do that as well. And I totally hear Jeannie when she's saying, make sure you wash your hands. I am going to be very vigilant about doing that. And as you know, I've already made my own sanitizer and everything. I've got that, and I've got a spray sanitizer. When I even go down to get the mail, I don't know if this makes anybody laugh, but if I get packages, coming from Wish or whatever, I literally spray them all before I open them. Yes, that's wonderful news. Jody is actually going to start sewing masks. I put up the link for guys who are interested. Jeannie's saying it's very kind of me to think of Yvonne. Well, it's very selfish. I know she loves my mac and cheese, and I love to make it, and I love to share it. So, I'd love to tell you I'm such a noble person, Jeannie, but I don't see it that way. I just know I want to make it, and I know she would love some. So I will make her some. And by the way, it always makes me laugh because Yvonne suffers from migraines. And one of the things that you do not eat if you're a migraine sufferer is cheese. And my mac and cheese has 3 different cheeses in it. So, it's just like I always say to her, I cannot believe that you're always so keen to eat something that's going to cause you havoc. And she goes, oh, it's worth every moment. But Jeannie, thank you for the kind thought. I appreciate that. All right. Any other last minute things that you want to say before I go off and cook? All right. Beth is saying, I can't work with a mask or gloves. I tried gloves, but I can't grab money out of the tills or open boxes with my box cutter with slippery gloves. Yeah. Yeah, that's very difficult, isn't it? But there are cashiers using gloves, so maybe it's the type of glove that you need to research. Maybe. I don't know. Beth, I'm worried sick for you, and that's not helping you or me. But, I am. I've got to say that. I know I'm pretty sure you shouldn't be doing half the things you're doing at the moment just by virtue of your medical history, but you're a big girl and you're an adult. Yeah, and Jeannie's saying, tell people that you care about them and tell them now. Yeah. I'm trying to do that, and I'm sure we all are. But I'd like to say that one of the ways we can actually do that in a way is just to act normally. All right? It's like I think I check in with I don't know about the rest of you, but I've got a list of people I check in on every week or 2 weeks anyway. So to me, it's not anything normal to be doing that and tell them I love them because I do it on a pretty regular basis. So I think the people that know me know that I love them. I've always, some of you know that I've got an epitaph that I would like written on my tombstone that says, here lies Sal who cared enough to share, shared enough to make a meaningful difference, and so by so doing became a gentle giant inside. You see, the point that I always say on this Jeannie, is every night when I go to bed, I can say, did I care enough to share today? And if the answer is yes, I had a good day. And did you share enough to make a meaningful difference for somebody? You see, if the answer is yes, I had a good day. And by so doing, I grow. I become a gentle giant. And so to me, this is not about how much money do I own, how many cars do I have, or whatever. This is about, did I care enough to share today? And did I share enough to make a meaningful difference? Beth says, here lies Beth, because she didn't listen to doctor or friends. She was stubborn. Interesting, Beth. I know you want me to laugh, and I can't laugh about that. I just hope that you love yourself as much as we love you. Yeah. So have an awesome week this week. Protect yourself, Beth. Find the gloves. If I paid you $1 million to find gloves that don't slip with money, you would find them, I'm pretty sure. So find them. Your life could depend on it. All right? It's not going to be easier. Of course not. But it is going to be safer. Thank you. I believe you. Let me know what happens. And Beth, you do know that I genuinely care. And I am pretty certain you are not meant to be doing what you are doing, but you are an adult, so I cannot stop you. But boy, oh boy, there are times when I want to pick up my 2x4 and not bash you over the head this way. I want to go. But you're an adult. All right, sweetie. I'm trying very hard not to nag you, Beth. It's so difficult. All right, everybody. Have as good a week as you choose to have, and learn whatever you want to learn. And please, please look after one another. Oh, that's so cute, Beth. That brings tears to my eyes. And Beth saying, hug Sal. I love it when you nag me. My mom never did. Okay, that is truly beautiful, Beth, and thank you for seeing it that way. All right, so all of you, do the best you can to be happy. Do the best you can to learn. Did you learn anything new this week? Anybody? I've got a goal to learn something very challenging for me. I've got a piece of on my shower area that has some really, really bad silicone on it. Somebody did a really messy, horrible job on it. And I really haven't been known to be a silicone person, but I am going to attempt to, first of all, get rid of it and then sand it down. And then I've got, slowly over the weeks, I've been collecting, the gun and the silicone and the nozzle for the end. And, I got the painter's tape and everything already. So that's going to be a big challenge for me this week. I'm going to try and do that. All right. So Niash is saying, thanks for the broadcast, Sal. It's so calming. Relieving all of our overwhelmness right now. Take care and all the best. Thank you, Niasha. I would ask us all to take care. Care as much about yourself as you care about others. And we should be fine. This is DearMamaSal sending you a big hug. It is my pleasure to be here. Hopefully see you next week. This is DearMamaSal saying. Let me find my Nyasha. I'm going to find out how to do that thing with the on-screen keyboard. Thank you. I'm looking forward to trying that. Bye for now. Bye.